Welcome back to Market Day Report. Mark Oppold, and we welcome a good friend, Dewey Strickler. And if you are a new viewer, new listener to Market Day Report, we know there are a lot of you. I met some of you at Commodity Classic. We want to let you know that every Monday we lead off the week with a good friend, Dewey Strickler, AgWatch Market Advisors. Dewey, hope you had a good weekend.
Yeah, I did. Sound like you had a good trip to San Antonio.
Absolutely. Yeah, great crowd there. One of the largest here, and got to see our folks firsthand, put faces with all of our great viewers and listeners out there. Dewey, we have a crop report. I want to start there. We'll get to the futures here, but this is a big week here for the grain trade. They get always looking for new information, and we're going to get some new information on Thursday.
Yeah, that's right. We'll be looking Thursday, Mark, at the supply-demand report. Don't expect much in the way of changes here on the domestic side of the balance sheet. The USDA will just mostly go through and tweak the usage numbers on corn, soybeans, and wheat, but we'll be looking at the trade, having a special interest in what the production is in South America. Most is expecting some increases in soybeans in Brazil.
Let's take a look at the trade as we start the day here. 15 minutes into trading corn, first of all, after about a penny higher overnight, about a penny lower starting out the day. I guess no surprise really there, Dewey.
No, there's really not. I look for corn over the next couple of days to mostly trade sideways, possibly until we get into the report. And then I wouldn't be surprised we don't try a little bit of an upside breakout. Corn has a pretty strong seasonal tendency going through about mid-March.
Yeah, and a lot of more of those private estimates are at or above 90 million for the Brazilian corn crop. Okay, so we're about a penny and a quarter lower starting out the day across the board. Let's check soybeans. Dewey Strickler, our guest here, AgWatch Market Advisors. It looks like it's very near unchanged after about a 3-4 cent advance overnight, Dewey.
Yeah, that's right. You know, the beans are doing the same thing as corn. We've got a little bit of a trade range here in the market, and that looks like it's probably going to persist till we get closer to the report, and then we'll be looking to see what happens then.
Unchanged for across the board. March is up a half a cent, by the way, those of you on Rural Radio, 10.27.5. By the way, real quick, the insurance price posted last week at 10.19. Got a few eyebrows raised in San Antonio at Commodity Classic here. What do you think about that price?
Well, you know, it looks like the funds, of course, have been supporting the bean market here for quite some time, especially the index funds. They've increased their position since January of about 20%. And as I've said on previous interviews, index funds are mostly looking not so much at the fundamentals on the ag side. They're looking pretty much at the economy and what their expectations for interest rates. That's where your support in beans is coming from.
All right, so again, unchanged, maybe a half a cent higher in beans. Take a look at wheat. First look on this Monday in Chicago, 8 cents higher for March. Let's check Kansas City and look at the nearby March there, 4 cents higher. Minneapolis, as we begin this Monday, about 3/4 to a penny higher. Talk about wheat, a lot of dry weather, then not getting a lot of rain in most of those dry areas.
Yeah, that's correct. And, of course, we broke through last week's high on the July contract at 472 3/4. And the funds were sellers of wheat last week. They sold about 165 million bushels, so that's putting a little bit of squeeze on them. So I think that is going to probably keep our wheat market very well supported and look for wheat to move higher.
And we are at highs of the day. Chicago there, 441 3/4. Dewey, we'll take a break. We'll come back and take our first look at the livestock trade. Get your thoughts as well. Dewey Strickler joining us, AgWatch Market Advisors. Back with more after this. And welcome back to Market Day Report. We welcome back Dewey Strickler, AgWatch Market Advisors. AgWatch.biz is that website. Dewey, you've got that university, I guess, for just a broad sense here that producers might be interested in. Maybe just a quick review of that.
What that is, AgWatch, Mark, is a service that we provide. We show producers how to go about marketing their grain, do it themselves. If you got guys out there listening, sold their beans too quick here, we could have showed you how to help yourself.
Very good. And so now we move from the grain to the livestock trade here. Let's take a first look at our live cattle futures on this Monday. Dewey Strickler joining us. And our first look showing cattle futures very quiet there as well. Wow, April is down, but only 6 points. June is unchanged. Cattle, kind of a consolidation here again?
I think they're a little bit oversold for the moment. Wouldn't be surprised if we don't see the April contract of cattle meet some resistance up here at 117, 117 and a half. We're going to look, of course, the cash is running about a $10 premium to the futures, and normally it's about $2 this time of the year. That will keep some support in the market. Mm-hmm. But on the flip side, we're looking at, of course, the last cattle on feed showed higher placements, and that's going to show also greater production for the April-June time frame. That's going to keep a lid on the market overall.
Very good. Live cattle futures up again now 14, 17 points higher. I'll give the numbers here. I want to get Dewey's thoughts here. We'll look at feeder cattle. I want to get his thoughts on the hog trade here. Feeder cattle starting out the day higher. March up 20 points. April up 42. Now over the hogs down $1.30, $1.50 at the end of the week. Getting a little bit of that back here. April up nearly $1 right now, but still hovering just below $68.
I think that the April contract of hogs here, we're going to go in a little bit of a trade range here. I think eventually the hogs, we could be looking at a drop back to about the 63. You had the cutout was down last week, and we're expected to see the second quarter production here at a record high. So that's going to keep a lid on the hog market.
Very good. Dewey, thanks for your time as always, every Monday. Good to visit with you, and we look forward to our visit next week. Have a profitable day.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Dewey Strickler, AgWatch Market Advisors. Here are those numbers as promised, especially those of you tuning in on Rural Radio. And a lot of you told me at Commodity Classic you really enjoy having Rural Radio when you have to leave the house. You can just tune it on in the truck or car, your semis, and keep track of all this information. And we're glad to have it for you. April live cattle up 14, 116.12. June cattle up 17 points at 106.92. Feeder cattle on the day higher. Starting out March, 33 points higher at 124.5, and the April up 45 points at 123.40. After the lower close on Friday, take a look at hogs right now. They were down $1.30 to $1.50 to end the week, and overall, the April lost about 127 points overall last week. Trying to get a little bit of that back this morning. April currently up 97 points. 67.72. The May contract up 70 points at 73.45. So we'll keep an eye on that now that we're open here about 20 minutes.
All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.